Hey, what is up guys, I'm KBHD here, and you've probably seen a dolly camera move, something like that. Or maybe you've seen a sort of a slow pan and arcing shot. These are all pretty common. But what about something more complicated? For that, you're gonna need something a little more dope. What's up guys, I'm KBHD here, and welcome back to Dope Tech. For this one, we flew out to Portland, Oregon, home of Motorized Precision, to take a look at some robots. But not just any robots. These are what I would call cinema robots, and as someone that's into video at all, this is absolutely dope tech. So like I explained in the intro, there are all types of stabilizers and video tools and things like that to help a human move a camera in a certain way. And actually, in most shots, you can kind of tell what type of device is being used. Like this shot, dolly cam. This would be a steady cam. This is clearly a slider, and this is a crane. But you've probably seen some crazy shots in a movie or in a music video somewhere. For a shot like this, the answer is Kira. Kira has been responsible for tons of shots in commercials for tech products and car videos, etc., and you might not have even noticed. But those are the shots that aren't CGI, but that are super precise and difficult that a human could never do with any tools that exist now, hence the name Motorized Precision. And then the level of dope tech is actually twofold here. It's the hardware with the actual robots and MP Studio, the software to control what these robots do. And they can do a lot. Here's the rundown. So the Kira robot itself is fully metal, extends up to 9 feet tall, has a couple fully articulating axes, and it can move up to 9 feet per second in any direction while carrying up to 40 pounds. And then the robot is controlled with an Xbox controller, which has enough buttons to hit every axis. So you get forward and backward, you get up and down, pan left and pan right, tilt up and tilt down, and even roll clockwise or roll counterclockwise. And once you've set the position, you can move the robot through space and time to other positions with keyframes in the software, MP Studio. And then on top of that, if you're using a manual lens, which you probably are at this point, there's motorized gears, which are also part of the robot, which can control focus, iris, and zoom during the camera move. And then on top of all of that, if you're shooting with a red camera, which is also connected to the robot, not only do you get a live preview of what you're pointed at and you have a remote start-stop, but you also get all your red raw controls, so you can change resolution, shutter speed, compression ratio, white balance, etc. Then you hit record, it starts rolling on the camera, and you run the Kira and it plays through the move you made at the speed you picked. And then, like I said, it can go really slow and smooth, or it can go fast. It might be hard to appreciate just how fast 3 meters per second really is, but it's really fast. You gotta know exactly what you're doing to keep it safe. And then of course, the other upside of knowing exactly what you're doing is all the shots you can get with it. The moves you can make are almost literally endless. So shout out to Sean Brown, the CEO of Motorized Precision, for showing me all this, showing me the ropes of the software, and giving some examples of what the robot can do. So really the only thing left to do now is actually shoot with it. So that's what we did. First up, the orbit shot. So this was fun. This was just a bunch of keyframes highlighting different parts from different angles of the same subject. And at every point, the camera stops, and we made sure that keyframe also had the subject perfectly in focus. And the end result just looks ridiculous, like you could see, almost kind of like this CGI. The motion blur is just dependent on the shutter speed we picked, but it's super real. And then from behind the scenes, you can see all the hinges working, all the cables plugged into the camera, straight into the robot that's talking to the computer. Pretty incredible if you ask me. Next up, we did a bit more of a traditional, like a phone on a table shot, which you've seen before, but with a twist. Check this one out. Oh yeah, okay, so this one started off slow, like a normal slider shot, like you've seen before, but then moved in quick and focused on the camera of the phone. You can probably imagine doing something like this with some motion graphics or some tracked pointers in there, And again, that shows off the precision of the robot being able to nail the focus instantly And you can't forget, this shot is also repeatable as many times as you want. So you can do it multiple times with different phones, different items, stack the clips, mess with opacity, etc. It's crazy. But for me, the beauty of it is how close to the table the whole rig gets without touching it. And there's no worries because there's no shake or wobble at all. Super precise. Okay, so this one was pretty simple, but still, if you saw it in a video, you might have your mind blown. But it's up to the top, spinning around, and then down on the other side. And I even think having more time with it, we'd be able to make this all like one continuous move. So you'd float over the top of the laptop, spin around without stopping, and then come down on the other side. But nevertheless, pretty sure that's next to impossible without this robot. And then next we decided to do something a little bit more difficult. Okay, so that was sick, but the challenge here, what really makes this one more difficult, is the fact that I'm a human, not a robot, and it's actually really hard for me to hold myself and the phone in the exact same spot for long enough that we can set up all the keyframes and the robot can do the move and get the phone in focus every time. So there's actually plenty of takes that we didn't use that ended with the phone being like a little bit out of focus because I had moved. But I think getting this one right made it that much more impressive. And then last but not least, we broke out a bit of a different robot, also made by Motorized Precision. This one's called Mia instead of Kira. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller, but still equally impressive. Could probably fit something like this in our studio, wink wink. But it's also now on a massive motorized track system. So we did a little walking tracking shot. So obviously that one's equally awesome. For the little bit of time we had to play with it and set it up, you know, matching my speed with the walking of the robot sliding speed and then stopping at just the right place so it swings past my head instead of through my head, obviously absolutely worth it. So that's it. That's the beauty of Motorized Precision, robots that control and hold cameras that can pull off low speed or high speed moves precisely that humans literally can't. Obviously you can take this thing to the next level if you got like a slow motion camera on there. Like if you imagine a Phantom Flex on this arm swinging around super fast, the shots you could get out of it are absolutely incredible. And again, if you can't underrate the software, MP Studio, there are older iterations of this same sort of robot control thing where you literally had to put in coordinates into an Excel spreadsheet to get a robot to move like this. So obviously this is miles better. Generally, people don't buy these robots. They get rented for certain shoots, like the commercials and music videos we talked about. But let me know, what would you use a robot like this for? So either way, that's been it. Hey Kira, you mind if we do this outro together? So we're just gonna wave goodbye. Ready? Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.